I want to welcome up Tyler Burnette to be our table topics master.
Wow, 1 in a million odds. Odds. Statistics can be deceiving, can't they? So, today, Victor actually inspired me to do survival of the fittest is the theme for today. So anything that has to do with any kind of survival, that's what we're going to be doing today. Since almost everybody has a role, we're going to be calling on people that have had roles, so everybody's a potential victim. So, for the first question, you're stuck on the side of the road with a blown tire in the middle of the desert on a country road off the highway. Nobody's coming for a few days. There's no cell signal, and you realize you have no spare. You're a 3 days walk from civilization with only a 16-ounce bottle of water. What do you do? Any volunteers? Doesn't have to be in the realm of reality. It could be creative. It can be whatever you want. You.
Okay. Right. Do I come up here to do it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk.
Yes.
Kirk.
Like
Captain Kirk.
Exactly.
Awesome. I like it. Go ahead. You got the floor.
All right. So here I am stranded on the side of the road. I've got 16 ounces of water, a blown tire, and it's getting warm, and I'm thirsty. So I figure if I leave my car sitting upright, sun's blaring in the windows, there's not really any shade there. I can huddle down next to it, but the sun's coming up, so there's not a whole lot I can do. The good news is I'm on the side of a highway. There's going to be traffic coming by sooner or later. It's hopefully sooner than a 3 days walk back to civilization. So what I'm hoping is that I come up with some sort of scenario where I can at least just stay safe, relatively hydrated, until the next car comes by. So what do? There's a little bit of a hill on the side of the road here. I'm going to try and get my car to roll and then tip over and get a little bit more shade than if I just have to huddle next to the car and get like half covered and have some sun blaring down and get real sunburnt on the side of my head. I do sunburn easily, if you wouldn't have guessed that, and I'm sure you all would have. So that's what I did. I got in the car, put it in neutral, started it, just kind of roll it a little bit until it got to the edge there, flipped over. I could prop open one door and had a nice kind of area of shade. I could sit out, very obvious, with cars coming down the road, and in just about 6 hours, I was thirsty, not feeling great, but a van came by, there were some friendly folks, and I got a safe ride back to civilization.
Actually, I'm going to grab a marker. Thank you. He actually did the right thing. With all of these, most of them anyways, I looked up the actual survival tips. And you need to stay with your vehicle. You actually do not want to sit down. The ground is actually 30 degrees hotter in a desert than it is standing up. You do not want to lick your lips because they chap easier. It's very interesting stuff. You can look online.
The chapstick, though, so.
There we go. You go to the chapstick. Very interesting stuff you look online. Alright, second question. You're out sailing your yacht off the coast of the Galapagos Islands with your friends and family. When killer whales attack your ship, sinking it, how do you survive? Any takers? Or no? How do you survive? The killer whale attack.
So I'm on my yacht, it's just broken down, killer whales have taken it, I'm floating, I don't need a life vest, I can swim, and the killer whales start to circle. Now killer whales aren't omnivores, carnivores, so they don't eat people, they don't eat meat. So I have nothing to worry about. I'll just start swimming back. And I won't bother anybody, but if I do see a shark, I'll be sure to go out of my way and teach it a lesson. Because it's survival of the fittest down there. If you take out who's at the top, you replace him, and you are the top. Anyone who even thinks about messing with you will remember how I took down the shark, and they'll be like, okay, if I can't take down the shark, there's no way I'm taking this guy down. Now as for food, well, it's pretty simple. I'll just show up wherever I want, be like, give me food, or you know how this is going to play out. It's all about being at the top. You have to flex. You have to flex on everything there. Once I make it safely back to land, tip my hat, that'll be the end of an adventure.
Actually, in 1972, the Robinson family did just that. And they were stuck out to sea for 16 days. They killed sea turtles and they collected rainwater. They were found by Japanese fishermen. Alright, the third question. You were flying over the jungle when your flight is struck by lightning and disintegrates midair. You're the only survivor of the flight, and you find yourself alone in the middle of nowhere in the jungle with only a candy bar for food. How do you make it back home?
Okay, so I'm in the jungle, and I know that in jungle biomes, the water table is not that low. So first of all, I can't survive without water. For the first 3 days, I'm just going to be focusing on digging to the water table. That way I have some water, you know what I mean? I also am studying horticulture next semester, so by then I assume I'll know what kind of plants I can and cannot eat. I'll stay away from the very bright berries, because that's kind of scary, and I know they're going to kill me. And if I'm in the jungle, I'd either try to find some kind of like civilization that's just chilling out there, or I just walk in one direction and hope I'm going the right way. Probably I try to go north by following the North Star, because I'm a genius and know that the North Star exists. And if not, I could just live in the jungle. I've always wanted like a house, like just like a tree house. I could just live in that. That'd be kind of chill, just away from civilization, away from your phone. I'm down with that.
Christmas Eve of 1971, Julianne was flying in her flight back home, and her plane was struck by lightning, and she was actually still strapped to her seat when that happened to her, and she only had a candy bar. She waded through monsoon-infested jungle to civilization, then back to a logging camp, and then was flown back to civilization, real civilization, where she was taken care of. Crazy, crazy stuff. Alright, jungle, and...
Damn, yeah, I would not be that all morning.
Alright, so, question number 4. This is a pretty... That's a double-sided one. This is a pretty simple one. A man with a gun walks to a bank you're depositing money at, and he starts taking hostages. What do? Anybody?
Ooh.
Let's see what the Toastmaster has.
So, I'm here trying to cash my check, which I worked pretty hard for, and life's tough. You know, I got $62 in the bank account, depositing $12 more, and this guy rolls up, and he's like, "Hey, this is a robbery." In my head, I'm like, shoot, I don't have much money to begin with, but if you want to take my money, you got to go through me, right? Because I'm pretty protective about my money. So he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, you don't know what I have a gun." I'm like, "Yeah, show me." But he has it wrapped around a blanket or whatever it might seem like, because honestly, it's not a gun, it's a water gun. So he's like, "I'm gonna do it. If you don't get out of my way, I'm gonna pull the trigger." And I'm like, "Who do you think you is, brother? Who is?" Eventually, I talk a little too much. He gets tired of me, puts 2 in my stomach. I'm lying there, bleeding out a bit. But at least I protected my pride. Thank you.
Wow, man. Awesome situation. Can be rough on the stomach, I tell you. Almost as bad as those dang...
Did you know getting shot in the gut is actually the most painful place to get shot?
Yeah, it really did hurt.
So, the next one.
I don't know. Sure.
Next one's pretty classic. We're here in Atlanta. We're at school. The zombie outbreak has begun. Now, tell me, without using any plans that you've watched in a movie, because that's cheating. We can't go to the mall. We can't go to the bar, Shaun of the Dead. We can't go to what Walking Dead is at this point. I stopped watching the show. Yeah. So I want Nasir to come up and talk about his zombie outbreak plan.
Okay, zombie outbreak plan. So obviously I'm gonna get a group of people. Y'all some good people I would like to fight zombies with. One thing is I don't trust any of y'all. So if it ever comes and is between my life and a zombie, I'm gonna sacrifice you. That's plain and simple. Because I know you'll do the same. So you can't trust anybody. But I'm gonna act like I'm helping you get food, get shelter, get clothes. So like I'm gonna help you until like then the zombie starts coming towards us. Then I'm gonna push people. Zach's probably first. Then is you. So I'll probably push you first, and then I'll go on my own way. So like I know it's like a lone survivor, and then like I'll find another group and like sacrifice all of them. So basically, it's like sacrifice of the fittest. until I'm like the last one, and all the zombies are still there because I don't necessarily know how to kill zombies. But I know I'm just gonna live my life sacrificing people because it's I only care about me at the end of the day. Goodbye.
All right. Well, we know the series of narcissists now.
I missed the press.
All right. Question 6. You're a cook on a tugboat and your ship capsizes in rough seas. Tell us how you would get out from under the boat and what would you grab along the way for survival? Can I get you in the back, way back there? Nope. You. Yeah. Come on up. Sebastian?
Yeah. So, the boat is capsized. I have a limited amount of time to get my supplies. Now, the first thing I would look for is any sort of water, because they're out there in the ocean, you can't drink seawater without going crazy. And the second thing I would look for is food, if I can get food of any sort of canned materials, any sort of non-perishable items, anything really. Then I would try to find my way to an exit. Now, presumably because the boat is capsized, there would be water filling, and so I'd have to swim to the top. So I'd have to watch out for any of debris, I'd have to make sure I wouldn't get trapped in the room. And then after I managed to get out of the boat, I would have to find something to anchor myself on, something to stay and wait out until I find rescue. Now hopefully there will be some sort of boat with other survivors, but there might not be. In that case, I might have to go the Titanic route and find a drawer or something to hold on to. And hopefully this won't be in the middle of the seas when it's cold, because then I'd pretty much be dead. But I'd get on the raft if I could, and hopefully there's survivors there. And I would have to ration out the food. And hopefully that will last long enough until I find rescue of some sort. Because if not, we're resorting to cannibalism. And that's how I'd survive, by eating other people if needed.
And how many more do we have?
We can have 3 more actually.
Okay, alright, cool. So I did not actually explain the rules for some of you who may not be familiar with this game. Basically, you want to speak for a minute, and there was going to be a timer up here that is going to, I figured you didn't see it, which was my fault. And he's going to give you a green, a yellow, and then a red. And then once you see the red, that means you need to wrap things up. Green means you're good to go, that you fulfilled your time on the stage. So, with that said, the next question, and this is because I actually just took my first hunting trip in the North Georgia mountains by myself, and a lot of people told me that it was a bad idea. Some people told me it really doesn't matter. I want your opinion. So, would you go camping, hiking, or hunting alone? Why or why not? Look at you, right here. What's your name?
My name is Jose.
Jose?
Very nice to meet you.
Likewise. Tell us why you wouldn't go camping, hiking, or hunting alone. Would or would not, and why?
I will not go camp by myself. One, because I live in a building. I don't go outside a lot. I feel like if I were to go into the woods, I would get lost. I'd walk one step and forget where the path was to even walk that. Now, even trying to set up a tent out in the woods, I think I'll just get a few twigs and leaves, throw them on the ground, and say, that's home. That's home for my time out here. But again, that probably would not work, because then at night when you hear those bear steps, I'm about to hug myself, cry, and just cry myself to sleep, and hope that when I wake up, I'm still there in one piece. Now, when I wake up, there is still going to be the issue of food. Like I said, I do not camp, so I probably didn't prepare well enough to go camp. So I didn't bring any food, anything to drink. So I'd be all out by myself. So then I just have to eat more twigs, or eat the twigs I used to sleep on. All right.
Now, I would be doing you guys dirty if I didn't tell you this story, but the previous one, number 6, the tugboat that was capsized, is actually based on a true story. Harrison O'Keene was trapped in a capsized tugboat 100 feet below the surface. That means his tugboat had capsized, sunk 100 feet, and he was trapped in there. He survived for 62 days on 4 cubic feet of air before divers rescued him outside the tugboat. Yeah, pretty crazy. He had to spend 2 days in a diver's bell to decompress. Pretty wild story. Let's see. All right, number 8. A F5, which is the worst kind of tornado. An F5 tornado is headed straight for your house. You can secure up to 5 things to the foundation because that's all an F5 leaves. What do you secure and why? Mike, let's get here.
So if an F5 was approaching my house, I'd be really freaked out. So the first thing I would save is my family. And you said 5 things?
Yeah, 5
so
things.
I have
Up
4.
to 5 things.
I have 4 members in my family. I get rid of.
And why? Why each one?
So my mom and my dad, they've always been there for me. So I feel like I'm obligated to save them. It's kind of, otherwise probably go to hell. And my sister, she was also there for me, but she also helped me get through college and because my parents initially didn't go to college until much later. So my sister went when she was 18, just like me, so she knows the ins and outs. So I got to give her that. And then I count my dog as my family. So I bring my dog. He's so nice. He's getting old. I want him to go flying like a bird. He's not a bird. He's a dog. And the last thing I would do is save my money, because if I lose my debit card and stuff, I have to pay for it again. And if I don't have any funds, then what's life for?
Thank you. Okay, so the story behind this one that I found, a man somewhere, I believe, in the Midwest, he was at his grandmother's double wide, and apparently an F5 had snuck up to him, and before they knew it, they were in the middle of the storm. Grandmother, everybody survived, I believe, but the man holds the record for the farthest being thrown by a tornado. The guy traveled 1,000 feet at like 200-mile-per-hour winds. He passed out and then he woke up 1,000 feet away from his trailer, which was not there anymore. Pretty wild survival story. All right, number 9. We got enough for one or two, or
Yeah, we got time for one or two.
two? Okay. All right. You've decided to become a prepper. What kind of cataclysmic event are you prepping for? And what kind of items have you stockpiled for said cataclysmic event? You, stage.
Tragedies come and go. I've never experienced any one of them. But I'm from India. I've never lived in India. I don't know what a monsoon's like. I'll choose a monsoon because, you know, it'll be fun coming up with random things in the top of my brain. So, here's how, and trust me on this, on a trusted source, here's how you prepare for a monsoon. First, you want to waterproof spray your entire house. Yes, that is the ones that you put on electronics. You put that on your walls. You just stockpile a huge canister of just waterproof spray. That'll keep every single crack in your house waterproof. That's what it's advertised to, right? If it doesn't, you can just sue the company, get $1,000 that way, and, you know, replace the house. Next, you want to take as much food from everyone you know and just put it in a bunker. And make sure, you know, everything that I say, spray it with waterproof spray. Food, family, whoever, like, eyes, as long as there's no water there, it's fine. As long as you got that waterproof spray. You're going to have to spend a lot of money on waterproof spray. And lastly, you need to keep your money and your dog safe. So you need to put that in the bunker. I don't care that you can't actually enjoy Mr. Fluffles because he's in the bunker. Keep him in the bunker. And waterproof spray, of course. So, thank you. That's how you prepare for a monsoon.
Thank you. Alright, we've got time for one more. Alright, if you were to go back to high school, what knowledge/items would you give yourself for survival in the adult world after graduating from high school? Let me get. What's your name again?
Egan.
Egan? Go to the stage. You got the question?
No.
Okay, so basically, if you were to go back in time to yourself in high school, freshman year of high school, what would you either give or advise to yourself for survival?
Okay.
Just in general.
Okay. First thing I would give myself if I can go back to high school is sleep. After coming to college, I racked up about maybe 200,000 deficit sleep hours, probably. My math is sort of okay. But coming to college, every day has been a war. Coming to MLC, staying here, you want to sleep, but just can't, because you know you have a deadline tomorrow, or the day after, or even if there's a deadline a month from today, you're just awake. I don't know why. I think it's a curse. And so if I can go back and tell my high school self, I will say, sleep all you can right now, because you can't sleep later anymore until you turn 70 or 80. So that is one advice I will tell myself. Even then in high school, I didn't sleep much. So another advice is save my money, because coming to college, I don't know why, but my bank account, every time I look at it, is going lower, even when I got paid. And it'd be really nice if I can have that money from high school saved up until now, because every month I think I spend like $1,000. I work, so. But, you know, tell myself, sleep more, save your money, live a healthy life or not. It's up to me. Thank you.
Why? Alright.
J-I. K-I.
Oh, wait, what? No, we gotta get the full name. A-N? Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Okay, that wraps it up. So, would you please vote for the best table topics? Do we want to do 1 and 2 or just
Yeah, 1 and 2.
the best first place and second place table topics? We're going to take about 30 seconds to do that.
Need time for
Do you guys
evaluation.
pull a Topicsmaster right now?
I have to do an evaluation.
That's done.
Yeah, you can pull it out right now.
Yeah.
It isn't told you just
And I'm going to call the Toastmaster Victor back up. Thank you.
Just to confirm, were all the speakers on time?
Yes.
Perfect.